Forget everything you think you know about wealth and morality. The richest person who ever lived was not a tech billionaire or an oil tycoon. He was a man of God. His name was King Solomon, and his estimated net worth would make Elon Musk look like he is collecting spare change. We are talking over $2 trillion in today's money. Gold temples, international trade fleets, and wisdom that still echoes 3,000 years later. But here is what nobody tells you. Solomon did not pray for money. He prayed for something else entirely, and wealth became the inevitable consequence. Right now, before we go any further, I want you to hit that like button if you are tired of working 40 to 50 hours every week and still struggling to get ahead. This video contains 5 biblical principles that transformed a young king into the wealthiest human in history, and they still work today. So smash that like button to lock in this knowledge, and let the algorithm know this message needs to reach more people who are ready to break free from financial slavery. Now let me ask you something uncomfortable. Why are you broke? I do not mean financially poor necessarily. I mean, why do most of us trade our precious time for money, year after year, yet never seem to get ahead? The answer is simple, but devastating. We are making money the world's way, not God's way. We are following the blueprint of a broken system instead of learning from the architect who designed prosperity itself. Most people can name the top 5 richest people alive today, but can you name the wealthiest person in human history? Solomon built a temple overlaid with 600 tons of gold. Not gold paint, not gold trim, solid gold covering the walls, the floors, the furnishings. His throne had ivory overlaid with pure gold and 6 steps leading up to it, with 12 golden lions standing on each step. His fleet of ships traveled to distant lands, returning with cargo that would make modern logistics companies jealous. Every 3 years, his vessels brought gold, silver, ivory, apes, and peacocks. The Queen of Sheba, herself a wealthy monarch ruling over a prosperous kingdom, heard rumors of Solomon's wisdom and wealth. She traveled over 1,200 miles across desert terrain just to verify the reports with her own eyes. When she arrived and saw the palace, the organization of his officials, the food on his tables, and the burnt offerings he made, the Bible says there was no more spirit in her. She was absolutely breathless. She told Solomon that she had not believed the reports until she came and saw it herself, and the reality exceeded everything she had heard. But Solomon's story destroys a lie we have been fed our entire lives. That lie says righteous people must be poor, that money corrupts everyone without exception, that if you love God, you should embrace poverty as some kind of spiritual badge of honor. This toxic thinking has kept millions of believers trapped in unnecessary financial struggle for generations, watching opportunities pass by while waiting for a miracle instead of applying biblical principles. Breaking the poverty curse. Let me set the record straight using scripture itself. 1 Timothy chapter 6 verse 10 says, "The love of money is a root of all kinds of evil." Not money itself, the obsession with it, the worship of it, the idolatry of making it your ultimate priority above God and people. Money in the hands of a fool becomes a weapon of self-destruction. Money in the hands of a wise person becomes a tool for kingdom impact and generational transformation. Here is the paradigm shift that changes everything. You are not an owner, you are a manager. Think about it like this. A bank manager does not cry when they write a check from the bank's account. They do not feel anxious about spending funds that belong to the institution. They do not lose sleep over investment decisions, because the ultimate responsibility rests with the board of directors. They simply allocate resources according to proper protocols and strategic objectives. The pressure is different when you realize you are managing someone else's assets. When you understand that every dollar you earn actually belongs to God, and you are simply the steward He has entrusted to manage it, something miraculous happens to your psychology. The anxiety lifts because you are not carrying the weight alone. The scarcity mindset dissolves because you serve a God who owns the cattle on 1,000 hills. You stop hoarding out of fear and start circulating with purpose. You move from survival mode to strategic mode, from panicking to planning, from reacting to leading. Now we get to the practical part, the actionable strategies that transformed Solomon from a young, inexperienced king into the wealthiest man in history. These are not religious platitudes that sound nice but accomplish nothing. They are battle-tested financial principles that still work in today's economy if you have the courage to apply them. Principle 1 is wisdom before wealth. Solomon could have asked God for anything when he had his divine encounter: military might to crush his enemies and expand his borders, long life to enjoy his reign for decades, unlimited riches to build monuments to his own glory and establish his legacy. Instead, he asked for wisdom to govern well and discern between good and evil. He asked for understanding to lead God's people effectively. God's response reveals the sequence of prosperity that most people get backwards. Because Solomon prioritized wisdom over wealth, God gave him both: riches and honor that no king before him had and no king after him would match. But notice the order: wisdom first, then wealth as a consequence. Here is what this means for you practically in your daily life. Stop chasing money directly. Start pursuing knowledge, skills, and understanding. The person who spends $10,000 on a get-rich-quick scheme but refuses to spend $100 on a book that could transform their thinking has their priorities completely backwards. They are buying lottery tickets instead of building capacity. Invest 10% of your income every single month into your own development. Books that challenge your assumptions. Courses that teach you marketable skills. Mentors who have already achieved what you are pursuing. Conferences where you network with people operating at higher levels. Certifications that increase your professional value. This is the highest return investment you will ever make, because it compounds across every area of your life forever. A single book can give you an idea that generates 6 figures. A single course can teach you a skill that doubles your income. A single mentor can open a door that changes your entire trajectory. But most people will not do this because they think they cannot afford it. The truth is, you cannot afford not to. Your earning potential is directly tied to your learning potential. Solomon understood this principle at age 20 when he became king. Most people never understand it at age 50, and they wonder why they are still stuck. Principle 2 is the ant strategy. In Proverbs chapter 6, Solomon tells us to observe the ant and consider its ways and be wise. Watch how it works. Study its patterns. Learn from this tiny creature. The ant has no commander, no overseer, no ruler, yet it prepares its provisions in summer and gathers its food at harvest. Nobody is standing over the ant with a whip. There is no ant supervisor threatening termination. The ant operates from instinctive wisdom that humans somehow lost. The ant works during abundance to prepare for scarcity. It automates its survival system. It does not procrastinate when conditions are favorable because it knows conditions will not always be favorable. When the sun is shining and food is plentiful, the ant is working double time. When winter comes and everything freezes, the ant is surviving off what it stored months earlier. This principle obliterates the paycheck-to-paycheck mentality that traps 78% of Americans regardless of income level. A person making $30,000 per year lives paycheck to paycheck. A person making $300,000 per year also lives paycheck to paycheck. Why? Because they never implemented the ant strategy. They spend everything available during summer and have nothing when winter arrives. Here is your action step that will change your financial future. Automate your savings before you see your income. The moment your paycheck hits your account, 20% should automatically transfer to a separate emergency fund or investment account before you have a chance to spend it. Not what is left over at the end of the month. Not if you feel like it. Automatically, first. Non-negotiably. The ant does not wait until winter arrives to start digging tunnels and stockpiling food. Neither should you. But this is exactly what most people do. They wait until they lose their job to wish they had an emergency fund. They wait until their car breaks down to wish they had saved for repairs. They wait until medical bills pile up to wish they had a cushion. Do not be most people. Most people save backwards. They pay everyone else first. The government through taxes, the landlord through rent, the credit card company through minimum payments, the subscription services they forgot they signed up for. Then they tell themselves they will save whatever remains at the end of the month, but nothing ever remains. There is always another expense, another emergency, another reason to spend instead of save. Reverse the order. Pay your future self first. Treat savings like your most important bill. Let everyone else fight over what is left. This single shift in strategy creates more millionaires than any investment genius or get-rich-quick scheme ever will. Principle 3 is biblical diversification. Ecclesiastes chapter 11 verse 2 says, "Give portions to 7, yes to 8, for you do not know what disaster may come upon the land." Written 3,000 years before modern portfolio theory, it is the exact same advice financial planners give today about investment diversification. Do not put all your eggs in one basket, because if you drop that basket, you lose everything. But Solomon takes it further than just investment diversification. He is talking about income stream diversification. Never depend on a single source of income. Not your job, not your business, not your rental property, not your stock portfolio. Build multiple revenue channels so if one fails, you do not collapse entirely. Think about the mathematics. If you have 7 income streams and one dries up completely, you lose approximately 14% of your total income. Painful, but survivable. You can adjust and continue. But if you have one income stream and it disappears through layoff, business failure, or economic downturn, you lose 100%. Catastrophic, life-altering, potentially devastating to your family. This is why the middle class stays stuck generation after generation. One job, one paycheck, one point of failure. When that job disappears, panic sets in. Savings evaporate within months. Debt accumulates. Dreams get postponed indefinitely. All because they built their entire financial life on a single foundation. Your goal should be to create at least 3 distinct income sources within the next 24 months. A primary job or business that covers your living expenses and provides stability. A secondary side venture that accelerates wealth building and gives you creative fulfillment. And passive investments that generate returns while you sleep through dividends, interest, royalties, or appreciation. Real estate that produces rental income. Dividend-paying stocks that send you checks quarterly. Digital products that sell while you are sleeping. Royalties from creative work you did years ago. Online courses that keep generating revenue. These are not fantasies. These are standard wealth-building tools available to anyone willing to learn and apply them. Solomon had income from taxation as king, from international trade through his fleet, from gifts from foreign dignitaries who sought his wisdom, from his writings that people paid to access, from agricultural production on royal lands, from business partnerships with other nations, multiple streams flowing into one reservoir. That is how you build a stable kingdom financially. Principle 4 is slow wealth beats fast wealth every time. Proverbs 13 verse 11 delivers a knockout punch to every lottery mentality and get-rich-quick scheme. Wealth gained hastily will dwindle, but whoever gathers little by little will increase it. This verse alone could save you from countless financial disasters if you actually believe it and apply it. Lottery winners go broke within 5 years. Inheritance recipients squander fortunes within a generation. Professional athletes making millions per year end up bankrupt. People who strike it rich quickly rarely keep it because they did not develop the character and wisdom required to manage significant resources. Fast money usually comes with fast problems that slow money does not create. But the person who builds wealth slowly, consistently, patiently over decades develops the disciplines and decision-making patterns that ensure the wealth lasts and multiplies. This is the power of compound interest working not just financially but characterologically. Each wise decision makes the next wise decision easier. Each disciplined month makes the next disciplined month more natural. You are building habits, not just bank accounts. Consider this example. A person who saves $500 per month for 30 years at an average 8% annual return will accumulate over $745,000. Not from lottery luck, not from inheritance, not from hitting it big in crypto or real estate. From boring, consistent, unsexy discipline that nobody celebrates but everyone should imitate. That is biblical wealth building. It does not make exciting content. It will not go viral, but it actually works. Meanwhile, people chase the exciting opportunities that promise 10,000% returns and lose everything because they violate this principle. Solomon said in Proverbs 24 verse 16 that the righteous falls 7 times and rises again. Financial setbacks are tests, not endings. The job loss that forces you to pivot careers. The bad investment that teaches you due diligence. The unexpected expense that reveals the importance of emergency funds. These are not failures. They are education. Your response to temporary setbacks determines whether you eventually succeed or permanently quit. Principle 5 is generosity multiplies prosperity. This is the most counterintuitive principle and the one that separates biblical wealth from worldly wealth permanently. Proverbs 11 verse 24 says one person gives freely, yet grows all the richer. Another withholds what is due and only suffers want. This defies natural logic, but proves true across thousands of years of human experience. The world says hoard everything to have more. Clutch tightly. Trust no one. Protect what is yours. But God says give generously to receive abundantly. Not because God needs your money or because giving is some magic formula, but because generosity rewires your brain and breaks the scarcity mindset that keeps people poor. When you can give away money without fear, you have mastered it. When you must clutch every penny desperately, money masters you. Generosity is the evidence that you truly believe in abundance rather than just talking about it. Solomon gave lavishly throughout his reign. To build the temple that glorified God, to support the priests and Levites who served full-time, to help the poor and marginalized in his kingdom, to reward the wise who contributed valuable counsel, to strengthen alliances with neighboring nations through strategic gifts. His giving did not diminish his wealth. It established his reputation and legacy. The more he gave strategically, the more his reputation for wisdom and generosity grew across nations. The more his reputation grew, the more opportunities flowed to him. Kings and queens traveled from distant lands, bringing gifts just to sit in his presence and learn from him. His generosity created a cycle of increase that multiplied rather than depleted his resources. Start with 10% of your income, not because God needs your money, but because you need the discipline. Give to your church that is doing kingdom work. Give to causes that align with your values and make real impact. Give to people in genuine need, not professional beggars. Watch what happens over the next 12 months. Not magic, not karma, but a fundamental shift in how you relate to money and how money flows to you. Here is what ties all 5 principles together into a cohesive strategy: time and consistency. Solomon did not become the wealthiest king overnight through a lucky break. He built his empire over 4 decades through consistent application of these exact principles. Proverbs 13 verse 11 emphasizes gathering little by little, not huge windfalls or overnight miracles. Steady accumulation that compounds. This is where most people fail completely. They want microwave results from crockpot processes. They try one strategy for 90 days, do not become millionaires, then abandon it for the next shiny object, promising faster results. Biblical wealth building requires biblical patience and faith that the process works even when you cannot see immediate results. Solomon's wisdom reveals that godly prosperity is not about becoming filthy rich so you can buy yachts and mansions. It is about becoming financially capable so you can make a kingdom impact that outlives you. Money is a tool. You are the craftsman. A hammer in the hands of a skilled carpenter builds homes that shelter families. The same hammer in the hands of a vandal destroys property. Same tool, different wielder, completely different outcome. The question is not whether you should pursue wealth. The question is, what will you do with wealth when you attain it? Will you hoard it selfishly and die with the most toys? Will you waste it foolishly on depreciating assets and momentary pleasures? Or will you steward it wisely to create jobs, support ministries, help the hurting, and leave a legacy that continues blessing people long after you are gone? God is not opposed to you being wealthy. He is opposed to wealth mastering you instead of you mastering it. When you approach money God's way with wisdom, discipline, diversification, patience, and generosity, you position yourself for prosperity that does not come with the sorrow and stress that worldly wealth carries with it. Let me leave you with this final thought. Solomon had everything money could buy, and wisdom money could not buy. At the end of his life, after experiencing every pleasure and accumulating every achievement, he concluded that fearing God and keeping his commandments is the whole duty of humanity. All the wealth, all the wisdom, all the success, all the international fame meant nothing apart from walking righteously with his Creator. So chase wisdom before wealth. Pursue godly character before financial increase. Build wealth as a byproduct of becoming the kind of person God can trust with significant resources. Because He is not looking for perfect people, He is looking for faithful stewards who will take 5 talents and turn them into 10. People who will use prosperity as a platform for eternal impact rather than temporary pleasure. Now, I want to hear from you. Comment below right now and declare, I am a wise steward to activate this new mindset. Say it out loud as you type it. Write it down in your journal. Claim it as your new identity, because what you consistently declare, you eventually become. What you believe about money shapes how money flows to you and through you. If this video challenged your thinking about biblical prosperity and gave you a practical roadmap forward, smash that subscribe button and hit the notification bell. We are Bible Ascent, and we are climbing to the summit of wisdom, purpose, and prosperity that honors God. Every week, we release content that elevates your faith and your finances because we believe God wants you winning in both areas. Subscribe now so you never miss the biblical principles that will transform your life from the inside out.